Hey, welcome to another episode of the Not Scrum Done podcast. I'm your co-host, Andriana Marshall, and that's my amazing co-host.
Grand Scrum Master Scott, greetings.
Today, we're going to be going over a subscriber question about portfolio management. The subscriber says that they are a Scrum Master, they understand the roles. However, how can you combine Scrum with portfolio management? Is it possible? Is that the Nexus framework technically? All right, Scott, do you want to take the Nexus framework part of this question and then we'll talk a little bit more about Agile portfolio management after?
Absolutely, Andriana. Thank you, subscriber, for the question. But let's talk about Nexus for a moment. Nexus is a scaled platform here at scrum.org. That's what we have. There's other platforms out there. There's Less, there's Safe, there's different other, there's Spotify model. There's different models out there. Now, these models have one thing in common. They all assume that you are doing Scrum right as the foundation. Okay, we got Scrum down. Great. Now we need more teams working on the same product. We have a huge one product backlog. We have one product owner. You have those things in place. Okay, now maybe you want to consider scaling from that. And I like Nexus. If I'm going into an environment, first thing I'm going to recommend is Nexus. Why? The whole goal of it is to decouple things. We want to eliminate and minimize dependency so that we can move faster. Whereas other platforms I've used really don't ask that question about the dependency. Can we eliminate it? Can we remove it? Can we work around it? I don't really see a whole lot of that going on, but the Nexus framework is trying to get into that. Now, going a little bit deeper, high level, what do you think you might need to have in order to scale? Can we do just one daily scrum for, let's say, 10 teams? We're probably going to need more communication. So we're probably going to need what? A sprint planning that incorporates everybody. Okay. That's another event you're going to have. We're probably going to have an integration team, as some people call it. In Nexus, we call it the Nexus integration team. This is the people that oversee making sure everything is going according to plan. Okay, we got that. We're probably going to need a group retrospective so we can see how the whole project is going. Exactly. So we're probably going to have two retrospectives, one for everybody that's on the group, the entire group, and then of course the individual teams might want to do their individual retrospective. Those are some things that you want to think about there. Now, can you do that from a portfolio standpoint? Andriana is going to touch base on that. But just want to give you a high level overview of the Nexus framework and begin to thinking about, okay, it's still Scrum, we just scaling it. And as we scale, we're going to need to add more events so that we can have more communication and more collaboration to, hey, how's this going? Good, bad, or indifferent. We talk about it on a group level, then we can go back to our individual teams and do it even a deeper succinct. Some platforms call it a scrum or scrums might be a word or term that you might be familiar with in terms of me describing that. So think of that. That's about communicating. Adriana, your thoughts?
Great explanation on Nexus. Going into how to manage your portfolio, there is Agile portfolio management. Essentially, it's just an approach that you apply Agile principles and practices at the portfolio level to align any product, project execution with business strategy and maximize the value of delivery. The emphasis on the Agile portfolio management is flexibility, adaptability, and continuous improvement to respond quickly to market changes and emerging opportunities, which is the same as Scrum and obviously Nexus. Some of the things that you can do within portfolio management to help you is the first thing is define your strategic themes. The second thing is create a portfolio backlog. The third is implement agile practices. So, for example, we already just talked about Scrum. If you have multiple teams, you can use Nexus. That is going to help you because now you're implementing agile practices all the way through. Set up checkpoints to monitor and review. This way, you'll have the ability to adapt and iterate. We don't want our portfolio management to be traditional. This is what we're doing the next 5 years and we're not changing. It defeats the purpose of being an agile portfolio management strategy. And also, it defeats the purpose when you're using Scrum or Kanban or Nexus. You can add in adaptive planning sessions that way on a continuous basis, whatever cadence works for your organization, and make sure that you still have stakeholder collaboration. It's important at the team level. It is also crucial at the portfolio level as well. It's going to help you have value driven prioritization and making sure that you're delivering to the users. All right. So we covered Nexus from the question and we talked about how you can manage your portfolio. If you have questions on this, leave a comment and we'll get back to you. We have an email list now. We are sending exclusives to our subscribers. So make sure you join that. You can chat with us on LinkedIn. We have our LinkedIn's in the description. And as always, if you made it to the end of this video, that means you have an attention span greater than a goldfish.
Be legendary, everyone, but not Scrum down in your portfolio management.